Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man, Herro, and welcome back to the Blacktop, where I always got next, you feel me? Now, I know y'all see the Sixers jersey, so before you come at me, no, I'm not rooting for the Sixers. I just don't have any Heat gear for this series, so for the sake of the video, I threw on my Iverson jersey, threw on a little Iverson snapback just because. So before I dive into everything, as always, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button down low. I'm on my way to my first 300 subscribers, so I greatly appreciate all the support, and let's get right into it. Quick little disclaimer here before I dive into this Sixers and Heat recap. I know I said I was going to do a recap for every single Bucks and Celtics game, and that's probably not going to be the case. I just don't really have the time. Again, I work an 8 to 5 job at the end of the day. I know the games are on a little bit later, but I do still got to try and get into bed a little bit early. I got to get up at 7 a.m. every day. So let's talk about this game. The Heat and Sixers, and I'll be honest with you, man, I picked the Heat in 5. I've said from the beginning the Heat are going to run through the Sixers, and it looked like it tonight. I mean, let's call for what it is. The Heat, or the Sixers, without Joel Embiid, they do not stand a chance in this series. And real quick, I want to say something, man, because Doc Rivers, I've yet to point this out because I haven't really recorded a video regarding the Heat recently and the Sixers. And if you're Doc Rivers, it is your fault that Joel Embiid is hurt. Why is he in the game up 30 in the fourth quarter? I don't understand that. That is some of the worst coaching I've ever seen. And then he says, oh, well, the other team had their starters in. Dude, you're up 30. The game's over. There's 4 minutes left in the game. It's horrible coaching on Doc Rivers' end. I don't understand this dude. I think he is one of the most overrated coaches in basketball. And it showed in that game against the Raptors in game, 6 or whatever it was. But anyway, that's besides the point. So, again, man, this game was a lot of defense for the Heat. And there's a couple things I took away from this game, so I'm going to try and cover every aspect. Let me know if I miss anything, but I'm going to try and cover every aspect in as fast as I can. It really came down to the Heat's defense and the Sixers bench, man. They have to have the worst bench in basketball. Their bench is so bad. I just don't understand it. Outside of this game, outside of Tobias Harris, they really didn't get any production from anybody. James Harden, he has proven that he cannot carry a team. He cannot be the guy on the number one guy on a championship team, and it showed tonight. It showed tonight against the Heat. Bam Adebayo had an excellent game. Tyler Herro had probably the best game of the playoffs yet so far for him. Those two guys really was just the show. You know, the whole story for the Heat. Obviously, as well as some other things. Turnovers on the Sixers end. The Heat had some turnovers as well. Poor shooting from the Sixers. They just looked so tired in the second half. And I'm not even going to blame fatigue because you just came out in the second half flat after, getting the lead on a nice closeout to the second quarter. And then you just get blitzed in the second half by the Heat. And credit to the Heat. Once again, man. Credit to the Heat. Second chance opportunities once again, man. They did it all series long against my Hawks. They did it in game 1 against the Sixers. The second chance opportunities killing the offensive glass. Creating second chance opportunities is such a big deal in these playoffs and in general, finding open threes. And Miami didn't even really shoot that well from 3. I think they only hit like maybe 10, I don't know, 11. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I didn't look at the final stat line. I just know that they didn't shoot the ball well. As obviously the Sixers didn't shoot the ball well either, and it definitely showed because James Harden was like 2 for 7 from 3. Didn't play a good game overall. Tyrese Maxey was like 1 for 6 from 3. He had an okay game, but not going to get it done, man. When you look at the Sixers box score, it was Tobias Harris, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey. But it wasn't enough from those other two guys. Tobias Harris did his part. But James Harden, where are you, my guy? Come on, my boy. What are you, legitimately, what are you doing? He's trying to look for too many fouls. It's just not, I don't know, man. I've always thought James Harden was overrated. The Sixers are just outmatched in this series, especially without Joel Embiid. I picked the Heat in 5. I don't see it going past maybe 6 games at the very, very most. That's if Embiid goes crazy in a couple games. Just sloppy turnovers for the Sixers. Just the fourth quarter, they just got absolutely annihilated. That was just an abysmal fourth quarter for the Sixers. And the Heat, man, they just came out and keep in mind, man, Duncan Robinson didn't even play again, which is kind of weird. But again, Kyle Lowry didn't play. Jimmy Butler had not a horrible game, but yeah, it was a pretty bad game. I ain't gonna lie. Wasn't a good game from Jimmy Butler with his knee. You're wondering if that knee's kind of aggravated from the last game because he didn't play the last game against Atlanta. But you're wondering if that knee's kind of aggravating them, but man, they still just outplayed the Sixers in the second half entirely, especially Bam and Tyler Herro. So credit to those two guys because they really showed up and they just got a little bit more production out of their role players than the Sixers did. The Sixers, man, I don't know. They just, like I said, they just have the worst bench in the league. Was it Niang? Dude couldn't buy a shot. It was horrible. It was just a tragic to watch because he just couldn't find a shot. And it's Danny Green couldn't buy a shot. I don't know. What more can you say? And I credit a lot of that to the Heat defense, like I always do. I've been saying it all along. The Heat's defense is different. And Heat fans, I know y'all gonna be looking for this video because I did say I was gonna do a recap. So I'm supporting the Heat in this series. I don't really care who wins the series realistically, but I think it is gonna be the Heat. Real quick, I want to go back to Duncan Robinson. This is a dude you're paying $90 million to, and he's not even getting in the game. And that just shows you how deep Miami's team is and the run that they can really go on because of their depth in defense, the 2Ds. Pause. And it's just like, I don't know. The Heat, they just have all the championship aspiration. They have the championship pedigree and all that. So I'm going to pretty much leave it there, man. I don't really know much more to talk about this game. It was completely one-sided in the second half on the Heat side. So credit to Miami. Sixers, you better show up next game because if y'all don't come out and at least, I don't even really know what to say because Embiid's not playing next game. If they lose next game, it's probably over. But even with Embiid, you probably didn't stand a chance anyway just because Miami's defense is too good. They collapse on shooters. I just don't know. I'm going to pretty much leave it there, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Obviously, I know my Heat fans that have been supporting me from the beginning of the Hawks and Heat series are going to have the Heat to win this series. Obviously, probably in 4 or 5 games. But let me know what y'all other fans think of this series, who you got winning, all that type of stuff. Leave a like, and I will catch y'all next episode.